when you think about it, there's this screenwriting principle called show, don't tell. I did a video where I talked about cases where you feel like you're being lectured. A character is just monologuing to the audience. When you do that, you're not understanding the principle of show, don't tell. And then you look at the movies Up and WALL-E from Pixar. These movies understand this really well. I did a video about Up talking about the first 10 minutes. That's a great example because there's no dialogue. There's just the music, the acting, all the emotion is effectively communicated. Think about the first half of WALL-E. There's only minimal dialogue. The first, like, maybe 10 minutes, something like that, just shows you what happened to the planet Earth. Doesn't tell you. That's really effective. Also, look at the original Alien. For one, that movie doesn't have any dialogue until you're like 9 minutes in. And then when you get down to the derelict planet, the movie just shows you that there's an alien ship here with this dead fossilized alien in it. We don't get all the answers here. We just get this one line of dialogue that actually raises even more questions. Then you look at the movie Jaws from Steven Spielberg. Originally, the shark was supposed to show up more, but then there were problems with the puppet model that they were using, so ultimately we don't see the shark as much. This actually worked in the movie's favor. It builds up the suspense more for when we actually see the shark. There's a related principle to show don't tell, which is called less is more. This means that restraint is a good thing. I did a video about Psycho talking about the editing of the shower scene. That's an example of restraint, so where you don't always need to show something violent happening on screen in order to get the audience to feel scared. Also, think about Jurassic Park. That movie, like Psycho, understands this principle of less is more, because that movie holds off on the action. It's not until like an hour in when the dinosaurs start breaking free from their cages and start eating people. So the movie actually builds up the suspense, builds up the tension, until you get to the part where everything starts to go wrong. Also, when you think about horror films specifically, there's this principle called the fear of the unknown, which means that sometimes what you don't see is scarier than what you do see. Alien understands this really well. You don't get the iconic chestburster scene until like an hour in. You don't see the full-blown grown alien creature until like an hour 30 minutes in. And even when you do see it, it's kind of shrouded in shadow. You don't really get a good look at it. And then think about that famous scene where Veronica Cartwright's character Lambert is being attacked by the alien. We don't see what happens in the room. Ripley's running to where she is. We just simply hear the screams over the open communication system. It's actually really scary, because when we don't see what happens, then our imagination can take over and fill in the gaps of what the movie isn't showing you. And that can be scarier than anything that we could see on screen. So you have these three principles that are all related to each other. They're basically in the same ballpark. The fear of the unknown, less is more, as well as show, don't tell.